to our Wednesday night yin. Right, we are going to start tonight. You're on your back already, right? People in the studio would kill me if I suddenly told you to go in some different position. But if it feels okay, bring the soles of your feet together. Come into a reclining bound ankle. Let your knees just fall open. We're going to start opening up the hips a little bit. All right, so I'll show you what it would look like. Your soles of your feet together and just laying down. So letting those knees open up. And just close your eyes here. Let yourself arrive. All right, we got new floors in. Most of you are watching at home. Maybe you can tell, maybe not. It's a little different. Right? Lots of sensory input coming at you. The smell, the new sensation. Yeah, it's all right. Let yourself take that all in. Let yourself notice that. That grounds you to your mat. Right? Noticing all the things about your environment. When you're noticing the smell, the feel, the sounds, the sights that are around you right now. That keeps you in the present moment. That's what's important in yin. That's what's important in life. Right? To ground yourself in the present moment. To fully experience whatever's going on right now. And as you're lying here in stillness, as you're taking everything in, let that focus come to your breath. It's yin, so we don't have to do that full control of our breath, but we still notice and observe our breaths. Let them be your guide. I was doing Dawn's class this morning, right, and the new floors, and the smell was a lot stronger then. And she was saying how when you step outside then and you smell the fresh air, right, then you'll appreciate the fresh air more. Right? It's not something we usually pay attention to. It reminded me one of my favorite quotes. It's by Albert Einstein, but I still call it a yoga quote, right? And it goes like this: there's two ways of looking at the world. One way is to look at it as if nothing is a miracle. The other is to look at it as if everything is a miracle. I always think that's a good quote to apply to our yoga, just because sometimes, we berate ourselves for not being able to get into the deepest, most advanced version of the pose. We think we're not really doing it unless we're there. So sometimes you got to think of it as, we get into the easiest version of the pose. That's the miracle. Right? It's not mundane to get into the highest level of the pose. It's not mundane to be at the lowest level of the pose. Everything that's happened to you, everything that's happened to your body, that's all a miracle, that it led you to this place right now. Because that's pretty unlikely. So keep that in mind. Instead of saying, oh, I need a miracle so I can bend my knee that much further, so I can lift my leg that much higher. Think to yourself, it's a miracle that I can bend my knee. It's a miracle that I can bend my leg. Appreciate what your body can do instead of berating it for what it can't. When we're ready to start moving here, you're going to take your knees and hug them in to your chest. Let's just do a couple simple rocks from side to side, letting that sacrum press into the mat. Should feel good. All right, we're going to start out with a simple little twist here just to get our spines to open up. So you're going to take your left leg, extend it long, let your left heel rest on the mat. Keep that right knee hugging into your chest. Just hug it in tight for a breath. And then release your right arm, let it go out long, straight out of your body. Take your left hand outside your right knee and just guide that right knee over to the left side of your body. Take your chin and your gaze over your left shoulder. You don't have to get that knee to come to the floor. You don't have to get that foot to come to the floor. Just your left shoulder anchored. Pull that right knee over as far as it comes. Feel the sensation here in your right hip. From here, you're going to take that knee back to center. Right? Hug it into your chest again, so wrap both hands around it. Hug it in nice and tight for a breath. And we'll switch out and do the other side. Let that left leg go along. Take your right knee, hug it into your chest. Or sorry, take your left knee, hug it into your chest. The right leg's going along. Right heel on the ground. So just hug it in at first. Let's take that twist here. Let your left arm open up, go straight out of your shoulder blade. Take your right hand to the outside of your left knee. Guide that left knee over to the right side of your body. Chin your gaze, go over that right shoulder. It's going to be different on this side of your body. Right? If you're going deeper here, probably you're not going as deep, because most of us, the left hip's a little tighter. That's okay. Don't berate your body for what it can't do, just appreciate what it can. When you're ready here, you're going to bring that left knee back up, hug it into your chest. And then just extend that left leg long. Now from here, you're going to take your right leg and just kick it up to the sky. Right? It doesn't have to go super high. We're going to slowly get there. Right? Just kick it as much as feels comfortable. Kick it up as much as feels comfortable. I want you to grab behind your right thigh. So stay below the knee. Right? Just wrap your hands around your right thigh. And then from there, you're going to pull that thigh towards you, bend into your right knee. So you're just pulling that knee straight in, or that thigh straight into your chest. And then from there, you're going to kick it up again, keeping your hands wrapped around the thigh. And just do that a couple more times. You pull it all the way in. And then kick it up. Do that one more time. Pull it in. And then kick it up. All right, so now you've got that leg up. Now you can start to walk your hands up a little bit higher, maybe. Right? Press that right heel up towards the sky. And then maybe you start to walk your hands, like I said, a little bit higher, but keep your head and shoulders down. And then from there, right, once you've got your hands just a little bit higher, you're really pressing that right heel up towards the ceiling, right? Bend your elbows, pull the leg a little bit closer to you. Maybe lift your head and shoulders here. You don't have to hold here. You're just lifting up. And then you come back down. Right, do that a couple more times. So your arms are straight right now, your head and shoulders are on the ground. You're gonna bend into your elbows, lift your head and shoulders, come up. And then let it flip back down. Do it one more time. Bend your elbows, lift your head and shoulders, pull it up. And then come back down. All right, now this time you come back down, right? You're gonna come as deep into the pose as you possibly can, right? So now I'm gonna go down all those things, your times. You can walk even higher, pull that leg even closer. Keep the leg nice and straight, even if that means, right, that you've got to take it a little bit further away from your body. A little micro bend in the knee so it's not locked out, but not a deep bend in the right knee. Really push that right heel towards the ceiling. You should feel that right through your right hamstring. Just take a couple more breaths here. Letting that leg open up. And then from here, you're going to bend into your left knee. Let your right leg come down. You're going to bend into your right knee and just put your right knee on top, or your right ankle, sorry, on top of your left knee. So you're in this figure 4 here. Right? And we're going to go to our eye of the needle here. So you're going to pick that left foot up off the mat. So you have to draw the left leg in towards you. You can take your right hand to the inside of your left thigh, left hand to the outside of the left thigh, interlace your hands around that left thigh, and keep pulling that left leg in towards your body. And the more you pull that left leg in, the more you're going to feel that sensation in the right hip. And so we're just going to hang out here for a couple breaths. The little sunbeam that comes in always right after we switch the daylight savings is actually making the light good on me in some places, but then if I go the wrong way, I'm in darkness again. All right, you guys are seeing right here at the eagle, right? The more you pull that left leg in, the more you feel the sensations. You want to find that edge. Just take about 4 more breaths here. Okay, now from here, you're going to release behind that left leg. Let your left foot come back down to the mat. But you're still here in this figure 4. Now what you're going to do from here, right, you're just going to let both legs go over to the left, right? So we've done this before. You want to end up with your right foot flat on the ground, right, and your left knee on the ground. Now, you're going to take your arms out to a T, right? Maybe you take your left hand and you just kind of push that right knee back up towards the sky a little bit. Take your gaze over your right shoulder. If you don't want to take that left hand and press into the right hand, just keep that left hand out long. Do that little IT band stretch going towards the outside of your right thigh. So 3 more breaths here. From there, if you're using that left hand to push that right knee open, let that left knee go back, or that left hand go back out to a T. Use your right foot, drag that left knee up, come back to your figure 4. To get back up to our figure 4, we're going to come from here into happy baby. So you want to keep that sacrum, that's the low part of your back, pressing into the mat. But take your right foot off your left knee, lift both feet up. You can have them slightly apart, you can have them slightly bent, you can have them a lot apart, you can have them a lot bent, right? You can be straight and wide, skinny and narrow, right? Whatever feels good to you. You're going to reach your hands up for your same foot, right? So the same hand reaches for the same foot. Again, maybe you rock from side to side. Get that sacrum on the mat. It feels good, like a little spinal massage. Take a few breaths here. And you're happy baby, right? This is earlier than we usually do it in practice. That's all right. It's going to give you a little more information about what's feeling good in your legs and what's not. Use that information. Build your body awareness. Just take a couple more breaths here. All right, now from here, you're going to release your feet, right? And then you're going to take that left knee, hug it into your chest, take your right leg all the way along. And so we're going to do all of that here on the left side, right? So you're kicking your left leg up to the sky, right? And then you're just going to grab somewhere above your right knee, right? So around your right thigh, so your hands are wrapping around your leg, right? And then you're straightening out your arms. You're going to bend into that left knee, bend your elbows, pull the knee back into your chest, and then kick it back up to the sky. So you don't have to be perfectly straight here when it comes up to the sky. If it goes perfectly straight, that's okay. We're just getting it ready to go perfectly straight, right? Do that twice more, where you bend your elbows, pull that knee into your chest, so bend your knee, and then kick it up straight again, right? Do that one more time. Bend your elbows, bend the knee, pull the thigh in, and then kick it up straight. Right? Now, from here, you're going to start to walk your hands up a little higher, as high as they can go on your leg. Maybe that's still below your knee. Maybe it's above your knee, around your calf. That's where it is for most people. Maybe you can get all the way up to your ankle or your foot. Now, you're really going to flex that left foot, push the left heel towards the ceiling. Right? And then from there, you're going to bend your elbows, pull the whole leg towards you. Maybe lift your head and shoulders, push your nose towards your knee. And then straighten your arms again. Let your head and shoulders come down. And just do that twice more, where you bend the elbows, pull the leg in, lifting your head and shoulders, and then let everything come back down. Let your arms go straight. Do it one more time. Bend the elbows, lift the head and shoulders, pull it in, and then let your head and shoulders come back down, kick that knee out. Now we're really going to come to that full hamstring stretch. Maybe your hands walk a little higher if you want them to, right? Really press that left heel up, really straighten out your left leg, even if it means you got to take it a little bit further away from your body. Feel that sensation go through your left hamstring. From here, let yourself come back down. Walk your hands back down. Now you're going to bend into your right foot. Put your right foot flat on the ground. Bend into your left knee. Drop that left knee on top, or left ankle on top of the right knee. So your left knee's going out to the side. You're in that figure 4 here. Right, so first we're just going to do our basic eye of the needle. Pick that right foot up. Draw it in towards you. Let your left hand go to the inside of your right thigh. Right hand to the outside of the right thigh. And just keep pulling that right leg in towards you. The more you pull it in, the more sensation you're going to feel in that left hip, right? So adjust it, use that lever, right? If you need to back it off, you can push that right leg further away. If you need more, keep pulling it in. You can always kick that right leg up to the sky here, or you can drop your right heel all the way down to your right glute, wrap your hands around your right shin. It's all different options. Four more breaths here. Now from here, release behind that right leg. Let your right foot come down to the mat. Still that figure 4 with your legs. Let your arms go out to a T. Right, this time we're dropping both legs over to the right. So your left foot's going to come flat to the mat. You're looking over your left shoulder. If you want to here, you take your right hand, push on the inside of that left knee, just push it more open so you feel that stretch push the outside of your left leg. Right, now if you're pressing into that left knee with the right hand, let your right hand come back down, use your left foot, draw those legs back up. And then we're going to come back into that happy baby, right? So press that sacrum down into the ground again, back to your version of happy baby. Take those rocks from side to side. Little spinal massage going here. Now from here, you're going to take your knees, hug them into your chest. Right? Take both hands to the crease of your knees. Just rock yourself up to a seated position. Right? And then from there, we're going to come just into a wide-legged child's pose. Right? So you can come to tabletop. Take your knees out super wide as you can. Bring your big toes to touch underneath you. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing here. And then push your hips back over your heels. You can come down to your elbows. Or maybe you come down to your head, your chest. We're not going to stay long here, just a minute or so, right? If this is really super uncomfortable to you, you can always bring your knees together and let your belly rest on your thighs. You can always keep your hips lifted, right? So that you don't have to bend that deeply into your knees. It's more like this, right? Like a little tadpole. If you can, come all the way into that wide-legged child's pose. Just going to hold here for another 30 seconds or so. And right here, let's come back up, right? So we're gonna make our way up, back into tabletop. So you're lifting your hips, and then you're gonna bring your knees back together. So you want your knees to touch here. So you want them all the way together. Now I'm gonna give you 3 options here. I'm gonna turn sideways so you can see, right? All right, so option number 1, right? You just come to a low kneel. You let your hips come over your heels, and you sit up tall, just like this, right? Option 2, you tuck your toes under, right? And you bring your hips to your heels. You make it a toe stretch, right? If you like that, you can go there, right? I know some people hate it. You don't have to go there if you hate it, right? If you like it, stay right there. Option 3, right? You come all the way up to high kneel, which is you take your hips off your heels and you're here like this. That's for if your knees don't like to bend all the way. You can keep your toes tucked in high kneel. Maybe if you like the toe tuck, but you don't want the pressure, this is where you go, right? Those are all good options, right? Find which one you want to do. Now, from there, wherever you are, take your hands up to the sky. And we're just going to do a little side bend each way. So you're going to drop your right hand to your right side, reach that left hand over towards the right side of the room. And if you're up in high kneel and you can't get your hand all the way to the floor, it's okay. Just let that right hand slide along your side. Now come back up here, take the right hand up overhead, and then go the other way. Drop that left hand down, and reach that right hand up and over. Come back up here, both arms up overhead. Now, if you're down in a low kneel or in a low toe stretch, right, then you can sweep your hands back behind you. Let your fingertips land on the mat behind you. Pull your shoulder blades together. Puff your chest open, look up, so it's like this. If you're up in high kneel, either with the toes tucked or not, you're just going to come into a camel. Put your hands on your low back with your elbows pointed towards the back of the room. Push your hips forward. Take your chest, your gaze, your chin up towards the sky. 2 more breaths right here, wherever you are. And you're going to come back up. Take both arms overhead one more time. Just reach up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to bring it down into tabletop again, right? So hands and knees pose. And this time, from our tabletop, right, we're going to come into a kneeling runner's lunge. So here's how I like to do it, right? In Yin, so we don't have to do any gang actions. You're just going to take your right foot, kick it straight out to the right, so your foot comes onto the ground. Take your right hand, wrap it around behind your back. And then just take your right foot, step it forward, and just set it down right next to your left hand, right? If you need more than one step for that, it's okay. Then you unwind your right hand, and you're here in your kneeling runner's lunge. Maybe you tuck your left toes under and move that left knee back a little bit so it's not right underneath your left hip, right? You see how I move my left knee back so that my left knee is back behind my left hip, not right underneath it. Now, all you're gonna do from here, bring both hands to the inside of your right foot. Right, so we're in a dragon pose. Now, if you want to come down to your elbows, you can. Right? If you want to make this more by staying up off your left knee, tuck your left toes under, that's an option too. There are lots of good options here. Now, take your right toes and I'm moving my hands just so you can see my right foot. Turn your right toes out to the right. And then from there, take that right hand and just press that right knee towards the right wall a little bit. Let yourself go onto the knife edge of your right foot. You guys can see on camera here. It's better if I do it this way, just straight ahead. So I turn my right toes out, and then I'm pushing that knee open. All right, now, release that right leg. Let the right foot come back to the floor. Put that right hand down. Turn your right toes back towards the front of the room, right? Now from here, you're gonna tuck your left toes under. Come up off your left knee. Drop your left heel. You're just gonna walk yourself around. Let those right toes turn towards the left wall. Just walk into a wide-legged forward fold, facing the left wall. Right, I'm gonna turn around here so I'm facing the camera, but you guys should be facing the right wall. Hands are on the ground. You're just letting your head hang heavy and long. Shake your head yes. Shake your head no. Maybe you grab your same ankle with your same hand. Maybe you shake your hands in the center of the mat. Now from here, everybody's going to bring their hands into the center of the mat. We're just going to do a couple skandasanas, right? Those are side lunges. Now you don't have to make them super deep unless you like that and you want to, you can. But you're just going to bend into your left knee, right? Keep your hands on the ground. Keep your right leg straight. So it can look like just like this. Just a little mild bend in your left knee. If you want to make it really deep, you let your left heel come up. You let your right toes flip up. It looks like this, right? So you take about 3 breaths here. Stay in your skandasana. Right, it's yin, so we stay a little longer. We're used to doing this in vinyasa where we just go back and forth so fast. All right, now push in to that left foot, straighten out the left leg, and you can bring yourself back through that wide forward fold. And then you're gonna do your skandasana the other way, right? So you're bending into your left knee, or sorry, your right knee. You're bending into your right knee now. And then you can bring it nice and low, or you can just keep it shallow with a little bend in your right knee, hands just on the mat inside your right foot. Right, if you want to take it deep and flip those left toes up, lift that right heel up, you can. One more breath here. All right, now here's our tricky part. You're gonna walk backwards, right, toward your right foot. You've already got that deep bend in your right knee. You're just gonna let that left knee drop down as you come back around towards the front of the room. Let that right knee fall open, right? So you're coming into pigeon position. So you're letting that right knee come down to the ground. Maybe your right toes come back a little bit, and that's okay, right? Now, you're up on your palms. If you want to be in full pigeon, you can. If full pigeon is not something you usually like to do, then you're gonna go to deer, right? You're gonna let your right hip come down and then bend into your left knee, pull it against the sole of your right foot, right? So whether you're in pigeon or you're in deer position, right, up to you. And then you're just gonna walk it over your right shin as far as you can. So I'm here in deer, right? I'm still walking over, my hands over my right shin there, in between my right knee and my right ankle. If you're in full pigeon, you've got that left leg extended, your right hip is lifted, and you're pushing your left hip down toward your right heel. Either way, you should be feeling that deep stretch in your right hip. All right, now from here, we're going to come around. You're going to come up onto your palms, right? Now, if you're in pigeon, you've got to let that right hip come down, and then you're just going to come around so that right shin is still across the front of your mat. You're just going to pull your left leg in so that the sole of your right foot is against your left inner thigh, and you're in this half butterfly position, right? So you still got that bend in the right knee. And then once you're there, right, here's what we're going to do first. You're just going to take that left hand, slide it down your left leg, start to reach towards your left toes. Maybe you can go all the way down and grab your toes. If you just get that left hand out to your ankle or your shin or on your knee, that's okay, right? And then that right hand is going to reach up and then over, starting to reach those right fingertips towards your left toes. So you want your chest to be spiraling open to the right? You don't want to cave it down towards your left leg. Everything's spiraling open. If it doesn't feel okay letting those right hands kind of hang out in space and reach over, then you can always wrap that right hand around your back and keep spiraling your chest open to the right. One more breath here. Coming all the way up. As you come up here, right, take your your right hand, drop it back behind you. So your right hand's coming back behind your right hip, right? Now your left hand's coming up to the sky, and you reach those left fingertips over towards the right side of the room. So your chest is still spiraling to the right. Now, if you want to here, you can turn this into a full baby wild thing. That's where you press into your right hand and you press into your right knee, let your left toes come, and you lift your hips. You don't have to go there, right? You can just keep your hips on the ground and just keep reaching that right hand over, right? If it feels like too much yang for you to come up into baby wild thing, then don't do it. If it feels good for you, it feels like an extension of your stretch to come into baby wild thing, then you should. Take 2 more breaths here. All right, and now we're going to press into that right hand. If you lifted your hips, let them come back down. Sweep both hands up to the sky, right? And now we're just going to angle ourselves all the way over towards the left leg and just drop down as that half butterfly forward fold. So both hands are reaching along your left leg towards your left toes. Maybe you can grab your left toes here. If you can't, it's okay, right? But keep your back nice and flat. Just let that chest come forward. Keep your hips on the ground. You feel this is a deep, deep stretch now back into your left hamstring. Three more breaths here. And slowly peel up. All right, we're going to come back around into tabletop, right? So you can lean to the right a little bit, pull that left knee in. Use your right hand, push yourself back up to tabletop because we're going to do all that on the other side. All right, so once you're in tabletop, we're going to start with that dragon. So you're going to take your left foot, step it out to the left. Take your left hand, wrap it behind your back. Step that left foot forward next to your right hand. Right? And then let your left hand come down outside your left foot at first. Set up your lunge. So maybe you tuck those right toes under, move that right knee back a little bit so it's not right underneath your hip. Right, once you're in that nice runner's lunge, bring both hands to the inside of your left foot. So you can stay right here. You can come down to your elbows if that feels better to you. You decide. Squeeze for a second that left knee into your left shoulder wherever you are. Right? Then we're going to add on here, right? So you take those left toes, you turn them out to the left. And then if you're down on your right arm, that's fine, right? On your right elbow, or your elbows, I should say, right? That's good. But either way, or maybe you're up on your palms, so you're going to take your left hand and push that left knee open a little bit more. Look over your left shoulder. So you're coming up onto the knife edge of your left foot. Does it feel good to push it open? Then you can keep that left hand or left elbow down and keep your foot on the ground, but try to angle those left toes at least a little bit so you start to take that stretch to the outside of your leg. Take 3 more breaths here. Drop that left hand down, right? And now we're going to turn those left toes back towards the front of the room. And then come up off your left knee, or sorry, your right knee, right? Come up off your right knee, drop your right toes, and then walk yourself around there, coming back to that wide forward fold here. This time we're facing the right long edge of the mat. And just let yourself sink into that forward fold. Should feel good. Maybe you need to shorten your stance. Maybe you need to widen your stance. Maybe you move your hands. You keep your hands right in the center. Get the crown of the head to come down toward the ground. Now we're going to do those skandhasanas again. Right, you're going to bend this time into your right knee first, right? So you're bending into your right knee, and maybe it's just this shallow, right? I've got a little tiny bend in my right knee. My hands are on the inside of my right foot. You can hang out right here. If you want to make it deeper, make it deeper. That's not an obligation, right? You want to feel that sensation go through your inner thighs, right? If you're getting that just a little bend in your knee, then that's where you should stay. Take 2 more breaths here. Now press into that right foot. You're going to bring yourself back into wide-legged forward fold. Let yourself hang here. A couple more breaths. And then you're going to bend into your left knee. Let yourself come down into Skandhasana on the left side. Again, you can make it deep or you can keep it shallow. Totally up to you. Three more breaths. Now, we're going to walk it back around, right, towards the left leg. So keeping that bend in the left knee. You just walk it back around, come into runner's lunge, and then you're letting those left toes come over by your right wrist, letting your left knee come to the ground, dropping that right knee. So in your pigeon position here, right? So I'm in pigeon position right now with my right leg extended, my left hip is lifted, pushing my right hip down towards my left heel. You can be in pigeon position if it's good for you. If it's not good for you, let your left hip come all the way to the ground. Bend into your right knee, pull that right knee against the sole of your left foot. Bring your hands in front of your left shin, either way, right, whether you're in deer or pigeon, and then just walk it out here. more breaths here. Walk it back up to your palms, right? Everybody's going to drop down that left hip if you're not already, right? And then extend your right leg out long. Pull that left foot against the inside of your right thigh, right? Or no, we're doing right. Okay, so like a real long side. Now we want the right leg long. We want the left knee bent, because that's what we did before. All right, so we're here for this half butterfly position. Now we're going to start with that little side stretch. So you're going to take your right hand to your right thigh, slide it down along your right thigh. If you can grab your toes, that's great. If you just get it to your ankle or your shin or your knee, that's fine. And then you're going to take your left hand up to the sky. Reach your left hand up and over, like towards your right toes, but so that your chest is spiraling open towards the left side of the room. If it doesn't feel good reaching that left hand over again, the option is to wrap that left hand around the back. It's about the chest spiraling open, not about the reach of the left hand, but the reach of the right hand. Right? So take that side bend. Left hand can wrap if that's better. Take 4 more breaths here. And then we're slowly going to peel up. Right, now you're going to bring your left hand back behind your left hip. Then you're going to take your right hand up to the sky, reach it up and over. And again, if you want to here, you can turn this into a baby wild thing where you press into that left palm, press into that left knee, drive your right toes to the floor and lift your hips. You don't have to add that hip lift unless it feels good to you. Take 4 breaths here. And then if you lifted your hips, let them come back down. Push away from that with the left hand. Push away from the mat with the left hand. That's what I want to say. Take your hands up to the sky. Now just angle yourself towards that right leg and fold over it. All right, now let's slowly peel back up. All right, and now from here, right, you're just going to bring both feet to the mat, at the top of your mat, right? Take your arms out long and just let yourself come all the way down to your back. Now, from here, we're going to come into shoelace pose. So, or I shouldn't say shoelace, it's really paperclip, reclining shoelace, right? So you're going to take your right foot, cross it over, so you're just got your knees crossed here, right? And then pick your left foot up. Start to draw both legs in towards your body, right? Bring your knees as close to your body as you can. Your right knee should be closer, right leg should be closer. Grab your right foot with your left hand and your left foot with your right hand. And then you're pulling those ankles kind of away from your body as you pull the knees closer in. It gives you that stretch in the right hip again, right? That's our paper clip. Just gonna hang out here for a minute or so. And you can back it off, right? If your knees come further away from your body, if your ankles come closer in, it gets less sensation. The more you pull your knees in, the more you pull your ankles away, you get more sensation. legs here. You're going to let that left foot come back down to the mat. Right? So you're planting that left foot on the mat. Your arms are going to go out in a T position. Now you're going to press into that left foot. Here's what you're going to do. You're just going to lift your hips and shift them over to the right. So your hips come to the right edge of your mat. And then once you're there, use that left knee, press into it. Let both knees fall over to the left, right? So your left knee's pushing that right knee towards the ground. Taking your gaze over your right shoulder. This is kind of like our final twist. It's called twisted root. So it's a little different than what we usually do in that supine twist. You can take your left hand, press down on that right knee, bring everything closer to the earth. Give you a little more sensation. If you hate this, right, then you just untwist your legs and just stack that right knee right on the top of the left, and you're in your normal supine twist, right? So it's up to you. Now from here, pull both knees back up to center. And then you're going to take that right foot, set it down, right, with both feet back down. Just recenter your hips back in the center of the mat. Right, so we can come into that shoelace now on the left side. So you're going to pick your left foot up and just cross your left knee over your right. As that left foot's kind of dangling now. Draw both knees into your chest. So left knee is closer to your body right now. Right? And then once you've got that going on, take your right hand, grab onto your left ankle. Take your right hand, grab onto your left ankle. And then pull those knees closer in to your body. Right? Pull the knees close to your body. Pull the ankles away from your body. Right? So use your arm strength as a lever. Right? Find that place. When you feel that edge, right? We feel enough sensation that, okay, you don't want to stay here the whole night, right? But not so much that you can't stay here for a minute. That's where we want to be. Just 2 more breaths here. And then you're going to release your ankles. Now let that right foot come back down to the ground. Keep that left knee crossed over the right. Take your arms out to a T. And then here, right, you're going to pick up your hips and just shift them over to the left. And then as your hips shift over to the left, use that right knee, drag both knees over to the right. And that twisted root going the other way. And you can use your right hand, press down on the left knee, bring it a little closer. You can turn this into your basic supine twist if that's what you need. Now bring your knees back up here. And then just take that left foot back over the right. Let your hips swing back to center. And then just set up for your Shavasana, right? However you want it to look tonight. Maybe you just extend everything long and lay flat on your back. Maybe you're bending into your knees, letting them fall in against each other to release the back. Maybe you're going back to that reclining butterfly if you like that. We started, right? You decide. Find somewhere where you're going to be nice and comfortable, where you're going to be able to stay nice and still, and where your mind is going to be able to go nice and quiet. If you're here in the studio, I'm going to come around, a little spray for your towel. I've got some sea salt today. As I spray your towel, you put that towel over your eyes. Right? If you're at home and you have a towel, put it over your eyes. If you don't, just close your eyes. Yourself. Get to that place where you're withdrawing from your senses. Allowing yourself to not process anymore every piece of sensory input that comes at you. Right? That includes me talking, by the way, right? So if you're really already in your Shavasana, you're not even listening to me anymore. That's where I want you to be. I don't want you to be listening to me right now. Right? But if you are, it's okay. Right? Find that place where you totally release control of your breath, but you're still noticing your breath. You're still observing your breath. You're letting your breath guide you. And if you can do that, eventually, your breath will guide you right to a place. There's nothing left in your mind but you and your breath. That's always going to be your true quiet of the mind. Slowly start to come back into the room. Wiggle your fingers, your toes. Feel that increased sensation that comes with a quiet mind. If you want to here, you can take your arms up overhead. Do a nice full, deep body stretch. And then from there, we're just going to roll over onto the right side in fetal position. Take a couple breaths right there just to reacclimate to our space. Let the sights, the sounds of the room come back to you. Take as long as you need right here. But then when you're ready, only when you're ready, push yourself up to seated and we will close here. So let's close with our two Mari breaths and then an Om. Mari breath, we inhale as we exhale, make that little humming sound in the back of the throat, and then the Om is the universal syllable. Uses all parts of the throat. You can join me in these breaths or you can just listen. But let's close our eyes here. We'll inhale together. Inhaling again. And then we'll inhale one final time and Om. Let your eyes drift open. Bring your hands to heart center. Thank you, all of you, for sharing your energy, your practice with me this evening. Delighted me, honors delighted each of you. Namaste. Right? That's what happens when I don't have one evening class left. All right, I will see you guys all again on Saturday for Slow Flow this week. We have both weekend classes this week, finally, since I'm back in town. So Saturday, Slow Flow at 10 o'clock. Sunday, Gentle Yoga at 10 o'clock. So join me for those. Angie's here tomorrow morning for some more Yin Yang at 9 if you want that. I will see you on Saturday.